Okay, guys, I'm bringing you the third quarter of my 8A game analysis for 2017. Jumping right in, starting out, first two plays of the third quarter went by, and nothing much there. I probably can go back and see it, but at the 13-minute and 50-second mark of the third quarter, Tua has a clean pocket. He dropped the pass to Irv Smith, the tight end, who's been getting a lot of looks in this game. I really like that. Brian Daboll really does like his tight ends, as you can see. It was defended really well by number 3. I don't know who that is at the moment, but he played it well. It was a pretty good pass, but Tua could have thrown it higher. If he had thrown it higher and a little bit further toward the sideline, Irv Smith could have been the only one who had a chance to make a play on the ball. But that's something you learn as you go. At the 13-minute mark, Hurts he drops back, and he has nowhere to go. And he steps up and he just takes off for a really nice gain. Uh, he dropped back and he realized, okay, so my first, second read aren't there. Pass rush could come in, and he saw the hole. He took off, and that 4.4 speed really shows as he ate up the ground pretty badly. And that's something that he has that Tua doesn't. Tua doesn't take up the ground, doesn't like cover ground as fast as he does. So Jalen can get away with maybe not seeing a read like on that play. I think Miller Forrestall came open just a little bit after that, but because Jalen was so fast, he was able to pick up the first down anyway, whereas Tua would probably wait. But they have different skill sets, so it works. Now, interesting thing here is that at this point, or maybe in the next drive afterwards, they put Tua in to run the Crimson offense, which is the first string offense. But I did notice that they substituted a lot of guys in and out, and he didn't have a lot of success, especially when the blitz came and whatnot. But we'll get there. On that same play where Jalen was able to get up the field and take that first down run, the left tackle, he did a good job of pushing the outside rusher up the field. I believe that was still Jonah Williams at that point, but it may have been Womack. I don't know if this is at the point they switched him, but I think they did that only at that point when they switched around the first string offense. So yeah, usually when you have really fast pass rush, they like to get up the field and like get around the left tackle with some bend. The Jonah Williams allowed the rusher to like go all the way around the outside and make a long way to the quarterback, and that's why Jalen was able to step up and run away. At the 12:20 mark, tried a quick pass to Calvin Ridley. Jalen did, and it was just trying to get a few yards on the stick route here, but Minkah Fitzpatrick was already there to make the tackle. I swear, Minkah Fitzpatrick was all over the field in this 8 game. I don't know if you noticed it, but everyone's focusing on the big plays, but Minkah, he was reading these plays, and he was there ready to make the play right when it happened. And that is a good sign for secondary. You can tell he's going to be one of the big leaders. He's going to be able to diagnose offensive play calls and get the defense in the right position. So I'm loving that. I'm loving to see that right there. At the 11-minute 40-second mark, there was a read option play. Christian Miller read it so well. He's number 47. He blew up Hurts in the backfield and put him on his butt immediately. So great job by the defense on that play. About to contend with there. Oh yeah, at this point, this isn't when Tua had to face the first string defense yet. This is Jalen was still going against him. At the 11:02 mark, it was a vertical route on 3rd and 18, and this is after he got put on his butt here by Christian Miller. Hurts tried to hit number 12, and I'm realizing that number 12 is probably Tre'Davious Townsend, the freshman, who's been getting a lot of reviews. And the defense, the first string defense was playing a zone. And I believe Jalen was trying to fit the ball over the linebacker zone as Townsend was going past him. But Minkah Fitzpatrick, once again, made a great read on the play, baited Jalen into throwing that ball, and he almost had an interception, but it ended up being a pass deflection, which is just as good, so that's fine. One thing, though, Jalen probably could have completed this pass if he had thrown it just a second or two earlier. So what Jalen did was he was being safe. He allowed Townsend to run past the linebacker zone as opposed to throwing the ball as Tre'Davious Townsend was running past the zone. If he had did that, Townsend would have had a chance to catch the ball before Fitzpatrick got there. The issue with that, though, is Fitzpatrick could have lit him up if he wanted to in that case. But Jalen also, something that you learn as you continue to play, could have threw it early and threw it inside so that Townsend would bend inside to catch the ball and avoid the hit, kind of like he did on that pass to Forrestall earlier in the game. Now, the thing is, I don't know if Townsend, a freshman, would have understood that and have adjusted to the ball. You don't want to risk an interception, so there's a lot that goes into that play. Also, the outside receiver would have been a better option overall in this play. The outside receiver, who I believe was Robert Foster, had actually beaten his guy on the edge, just like Townsend did, because it was a zone, and Foster was over the top of his zone pretty quickly. And I'm not sure if Fitzpatrick would have been able to get over there fast enough, especially if Jalen had to throw it to the outside. So that would be something interesting to see. But overall, it was a good pocket. The offensive line protected well on that play. At the 9:21 mark, it was good run defense by the second string defense here. They kind of bottled up Najee, or it may have been Brian Robinson at that point. But yeah, the second string defense really started to come along here and stop giving up easy yards. At the 8-minute 50-second mark, the pass rush destroyed the second string offensive line, and they got Mac Jones. I mean, they made it look easy. They just knocked guys out of the way. Raekwon Davis got in there too easily. So that's really encouraging to see. At the 8-minute mark, Tua comes in. This is where it is. This is where it happens. At the 8-minute mark, Tua comes in for the first team offense. And he tries to throw a fade route to Derek Keith. But number 13, who I'm not sure who's that yet, had Keith covered up. And he looks like he was one of those substitutions, maybe a second string starter at the cornerback position. Who knows? So he wasn't facing like the full-on first-string defense. He seemed like he was facing like a modified first-string defense here. He had Keith covered up. And yeah, I just saw some different people in different places on the first-string defense. Also, the offensive line was a little bit different. I think they had flipped Womack from the right side to the left. And then the center was number 63. And the right tackle was number 72. So they kind of flipped things up. At the 7-minute 30-second mark, Tua tried a quick pass to Brian Robinson. It didn't get nowhere really. The left tackle was beaten around the edge really easily, and left tackle at that point was Matt Womack. Even though he had no bearing on the play, Matt Womack really he was put in cement there, like he had cement in his shoes. Let's see what else is going on. At the 6-minute 48-second mark, we sent a nickelback blitz. Tony Brown, who else got Isaiah Buggs coming in from his defensive line position, and it was one more person. And Rashawn Evans from the linebacker position. So we sent the cornerback, the linebacker, and we had defensive linemen crash down on that side, and they absolutely destroyed the left side of that offensive line. And they got the Tua just like that. He had nothing to do. Left side of the line was overwhelmed. So blitzes are looking good so far. At the 5-minute 50-second mark, and Tua didn't really have a chance to do anything. Couldn't throw it away. Couldn't get anywhere. So it was interesting. At the 5-minute 50-second mark, Mac Jones, under pressure, throws a nice back shoulder throw. See, he seemed to have settled down here and gotten comfortable at this point. It seemed like he was a little flustered at first. A back shoulder throw to Jerry Jeudy, who was covered up by Levi Wallace. Levi Wallace had him like dead to rights on his play, but Jerry Jeudy made a great adjustment to the ball, a great adjustment to a great thrown ball, to a well-thrown ball, I should say, and it was a nice completion. So you can see some promise in Mac Jones, and of course you continue to see the potential of Jerry Jeudy continue to explode. At 5:21, the 5-minute 21-second mark of the third, it was a run play, and number 1, whoever that is, I don't know who he is yet on the defensive line, he got off of number 76 just too easily. It was like a block shed on Madden, and he stopped the run by himself. Excellent play by him. Look out for that guy. At the 4-minute 50-second mark of the third quarter, great run gap fix by the second team defense. They all got in their place, and there was nowhere for the running back to go, so that's a good sign. At the 4-minute 16-second mark, it was a low snap to Mac Jones. The second string offensive line had a lot of trouble with this. Low snaps. He picks it up and scrambles, and he actually has some surprising quickness and suddenness to his running. So that was really cool to see. Mac Jones is not just your typical stand back and throw quarterback. The 2-minute 48-second mark is another example of good run defense by the second string. Najee Harris is bottled up. The 2-minute 15-second mark, Najee Harris showed good balance and staying up after It was a player, number 90, just dragged him down. I thought he ended the play, and I think number 90 is Jamar King, who's part of last year's recruiting class. And I thought Najee Harris was down, but he was able to keep himself up with his legs and keep his balance going and ran and got 6 or 7 yards. So I'm starting to see the talent of Najee come out and seeing some of the things he's able to do, which is promising for the future. At the 1 minute 42-second mark, Najee Harris showed tenacity. It was another run in running through tackles. He got in there, made one guy miss, ran through the tackle. One guy got past his arm, ran through into 3 or 4 more guys, and just kind of drove him for a yard or two. And that really shows toughness and willingness to use your body and get contact. So that's it. Like I said, it's good. It's promising to see for the future. I also noticed in general that Joshua Frazier, number 69, a lot of you remember him from last year, played a lot on the defensive line rotation. He played on the Crimson team quite a bit, which is second string defense. So I wonder, not necessarily is he getting demoted or is he getting pushed by the guys beneath him. That'll be interesting. Or whether or not they just want to try out Joshua Frazier against, the second string offense to see how would those guys respond to a first team like player. At the 1 minute mark, another low snap to Mac Jones. So that's something to watch if we lose our first string center, Bradley Bozeman. How would the second string respond? The 30-second mark, winding down in the third quarter, Mac Jones throws a fade to Jerry Jeudy, but Levi Wallace, once again, this is in the end zone. He had him covered up. I'm really loving Levi Wallace's coverage ability. I'm really confident in his ability to come in if we lose a guy. Like last year he did. But good job by Mac Jones of putting the ball to the outside, meaning that Levi Wallace couldn't make a play on the ball. Only Jerry Jeudy would be able to get to the ball. And that was it for that third quarter. Very simple. A lot of good things to look at, though. So fourth quarter analysis coming up soon. Be on the lookout for it, and then I'll probably try to wrap it all up. Thanks for paying attention, guys. Let me know what you think. What did you see in the third quarter?